Most people think drug shortages start in a lab. Some start with a delayed container on the wrong shipping lane. A box loaded with antibiotic ingredients leaves India, misses a transshipment window in the Mediterranean, and weeks later, a pharmacist in Ohio, Hamburg, or Lyon is telling patients to come back tomorrow. That is the real story here. Not a chemistry failure. Not even, at first, a hospital problem. It is a logistics system so concentrated, so optimized for cheapness, that one disruption can echo all the way to your local pharmacy shelf. Generic drugs are the low-cost backbone of modern medicine. In the United States, generics account for about 90% of prescriptions dispensed, according to the Association for Accessible Medicines. In Europe, many essential hospital medicines are also off-patent, low-margin, and globally sourced. The hidden mechanism is simple. A large share of the active pharmaceutical ingredients, the core chemical inputs known as APIs, come from highly concentrated manufacturing clusters in India and China. Then they move through a surprisingly small set of ports, shipping lanes, and container schedules. My view is blunt. Pharmacy shortages often look like healthcare failures on the surface, but underneath, they are freight network failures wearing a medical mask. To see why, start with the economics. Generic medicines are brutally cheap. That sounds like a triumph. In many ways, it is. But ultra-low prices create a strange side effect. They reward the most efficient producer, then the next most efficient, until production clusters into a few places with scale, energy access, chemical ecosystems, and export infrastructure. India became a giant in finished generic drug manufacturing. China became dominant in many upstream chemicals and key starting materials. The result is not total dependence on one factory or one country. It is something more dangerous. Dependence on a narrow corridor of suppliers that all rely on similar shipping arteries. Consider the route. An API, or precursor chemical, might be produced in eastern China or western India, trucked to a port such as Shanghai, Ningbo, or Mundra, stuffed into a container, and sent toward Europe through the Strait of Malacca and the Suez Canal, or toward the US through major transshipment hubs and then ports on the east or west coast. If everything works, the system looks invisible. That invisibility is the trap. People assume medicine is protected from normal trade friction. Often, it is not. It competes for vessel space, containers, port labor, and customs processing just like furniture, auto parts, or apparel. During the pandemic, this became impossible to ignore. In 2021, container freight rates from Shanghai to Rotterdam and Shanghai to Los Angeles surged to multiples of their pre-2020 levels, with benchmarks like the Freightos Baltic Index showing extreme spikes. At the same time, India temporarily restricted exports of some pharmaceutical products and ingredients in 2020 to protect domestic supply. China's lockdown-era factory and port disruptions added another layer of delay. Each event looked separate in the headlines. Put together, they formed a single chain. Production concentration plus shipping congestion plus policy friction equals shortage risk. And this is where the story gets more unsettling. Many essential generics are not expensive enough to justify redundancy. If you are selling a sterile injectable antibiotic with razor-thin margins, are you going to maintain backup inventory in 3 continents? Are you going to pay for alternate suppliers that sit idle most of the year? Usually not. The system has been trained to cut every buffer. I understand why companies do it, but I think this is one of the clearest examples of market efficiency becoming social fragility. Mini hook. And the most dangerous part is that the bottleneck is often not the finished pill. It is one invisible ingredient 2 steps earlier. The U.S. Food and Drug Administration has repeatedly warned that shortages can begin with a lack of a single API, excipient, or manufacturing quality issue at one specialized site. Europe has raised similar alarms.
A 2023 report by the European Commission on Medicine Shortages pointed to concentrated supply chains and limited manufacturing diversification as structural vulnerabilities. The FDA has also noted that quality failures at one plant can remove a major share of national supply overnight. Now add shipping to that equation. If one producer is already down and the replacement shipment is late, the shortage stops being theoretical. Think about scale in human terms. A container is just a steel box, but inside that box could be enough raw material to produce millions of doses of an antibiotic, anesthetic, or blood pressure drug? Delay that box by 2 weeks, and the impact is not cinematic. It is administrative. Hospitals ration. Pharmacists substitute. Procurement teams call 5 suppliers instead of 1. Patients hear the same sentence again and again. Not available today. That is how global fragility enters ordinary life. Quietly. There is also a cruel irony here. The cheaper the medicine, the easier it is for the supply chain risk to be ignored. If a luxury product is delayed, someone notices. If a generic vial that costs a few dollars is delayed, the warning signal comes late, often only when shelves are already thin. Reuters, the Financial Times, and several national regulators have documented recurring shortages of common generics, from antibiotics to cancer injectables across advanced economies. These are not poor countries failing to buy medicine. These are rich countries discovering that low price does not mean resilient supply. Mini hook. But shipping lanes are only half the story. The other half is timing. Container shipping runs on schedules, cutoffs, and priority. Pharmaceutical cargo is important, but not all of it is urgent air freight. A lot of generic drug inputs move by sea because sea freight is vastly cheaper. When rates exploded in 2021 and schedule reliability collapsed, according to data from Sea Intelligence, carriers were arriving on time far less often than before the pandemic. For low-margin medicine inputs, every missed connection mattered. A delay at origin can miss a vessel. A missed vessel can miss a production slot. A missed production slot can miss a hospital contract window. 1 week becomes 6. But wait, there is a twist most coverage misses. Even when ships move, power can still empty pharmacy shelves. API manufacturing depends on stable electricity, process heat, solvents, water treatment, and compliance-heavy production lines. In recent years, energy disruptions and environmental shutdowns in parts of China have periodically constrained chemical output. In India, manufacturers have also faced pressure from power costs, input volatility, and port bottlenecks. So ask yourself, if one region dominates a key ingredient, what happens when the factory is technically open, but power is unstable, inspections slow output, and the next vessel is already full? That is the hidden architecture of this market. Not one single catastrophic failure, but several small frictions stacking on top of each other. I find that more worrying than a dramatic headline event, because small frictions are harder to mobilize against. No one panics over a customs delay, a shortage of containers, a temporary export control, or a power curtailment. Yet together, they can do what one big disaster does. A good example is the sterile injectable market. Hospitals in the US and Europe have repeatedly faced shortages in generic injectables because these products combine low margins, strict manufacturing requirements, and limited producers. Add global transport dependency, and the system becomes brittle. The American Society of Health System Pharmacists has tracked hundreds of active drug shortages in recent years, while the FDA's shortage database has repeatedly included basic hospital drugs, not just obscure therapies. When that happens, clinicians switch protocols, delay treatment, or use less familiar alternatives. The logistics story becomes a clinical story. Mini-hook, tense. And there is one final layer most consumers never see: concentration inside concentration.